Page 79, All Alone. On page 78, introducing you to the key of B flat major. B flat major has two flats, a B flat and an E flat. A big difference from what we just had, huh? I find personally a B flat major is a rather awkward key signature, but we have to deal with awkwardness sometimes in piano. They give you the stuff over there. I would encourage you to go do my scale video. Do the intermediate stuff on B flat major. They give you the primary chords here on 76. You need to know those. Actually, you need to know them in both hands, right? One chord, the 4 chord, 1 chord, 5/7 chord, 1 chord. It makes playing the pieces so much easier. And of course, if you're going to improvise and that stuff, you really need to know them. You can go through these lines on page 78. Just read them in B flat major. You're just in a B flat major position, and you're basically playing them. And it is awkward because in the right hand, you got a thumb on a black note. That's the way it works sometimes. I want to talk about this all alone on page 79. I'm going to start with the right hand. Again, I want to offer you alternate fingerings because of the repeated notes, because I'm a big believer in it. Right at the beginning, I would suggest you start with second finger, and then you use third finger on the next D. And then in the second measure, I would use a fourth finger on that D, because you just played a D with third finger, now okay? Third measure, I use second finger on the first C, third on the second, and last measure a fourth for that C. Okay. Next line, I'd use second finger on the first D, and then a thumb on the next one. Third measure over is second finger on the first C, and then a thumb. And use the same basic pattern throughout the rest of it. I don't want to point it all out, but I think you're getting the idea. For the left hand, just finger it. 5-3-1 is fine. These are primary chords. You can experiment with using a 4-2-1 on the 1 chord if you want to, just so you don't have to put a little finger on it. It's up to you. Experiment and see what you think. And really, that's all there is in the left hand, just a bunch of chords. Everything's happening in the right hand. Rhythm-wise, so let's look at this. In the right hand, 3/4 time, but we have triplets mixed in here. You know, 1 and 2 and, or triplet, however you do it. So you're going to count it real slowly and carefully. 1 and 2 and 3 and. That's the first measure. You just 1 and 2 and 3 and. 1 and 2 and 3 and. Then in the second measure, that triplet, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. So the first two measures is that 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. So the trick is, can I do a 1 and in the same amount of time I do a 1 and? And that's where the metronome comes in, because that'll keep you straight. 1 and 1 and 1 and 1 and 1 and 1 and just alternate them. You'll get them. And get that rhythm down, you've got it. May take you a little while, and it may be a little frustrating, but if you'll just stick with it, just alternate between the even eighth notes and the triplets for a while until you get it in your head, the relationship between 1 and 1 and 1 and 1 and 1 and 1 and 1, and you want the beat to be the same, 1 and 1 and 1 and 1 and 1 and you just go over and over and over that, and eventually it will soak in. And that's what we have, this rhythm in this. It just goes like this all over the place. The piece is andante, so it's a nice stroll. It's not slow, it's not fast, it's just comfortable. About a 1, 2, 3, 1. Feels weird counting wise with the triplets in there, but stay with the metronome. Whatever it's doing, Stay with it. Keep that on the beat. Now, check your triplets, because the tendency is you'll play them uneven. You'll play them as in the second measure of these triplets, you'll play them as a one, you'll play them as a long, ba ba da, short, short, short. Or you'll play the first two like that. People do that too. That's not correct. They've got to be even. You may need to record yourself on this one so you can sit back and listen to that rhythm. Are you really doing what you think you're doing? You'd be surprised. Now, I don't do dynamics much in here because you can do dynamic. Dynamics is a relative thing. I mean, what's soft to you? What's soft to me? It's But I do want to talk a little bit about it, because once you know the notes and the rhythms and you can play the piece mechanically correct, all right, technically correct, you want to feel it. And that's where dynamics are so important, because you can feel it. This starts out on mezzo piano, and that's the melody, that's mezzo piano. So the accompaniment, the left hand, has to be under that. So you hear this. Decide which mezzo piano is, how soft it is or not, and then play the left hand under that. Okay, now when you get to the second line, you got hairpins. So you're going to grow louder. See, the beginning note of the triplet is like, that's where you're after. That's where you will go, to, and then come down, and then do it again. Grow up to the triplet and then come back down, all right? Left hand, just keep it down, because it's the right hand that's doing it here. Next line is the same thing, except you're staying mezzo forte. There's not a lot of difference between mezzo piano and mezzo forte, okay? It's just a little louder. We're not, this piece you never get loud. This is not one, this is like a love song almost. It's just a real sweet little thing. And then the last line is the first two measures, you're back to your medium soft. And then the last two measures, you're soft. And then, of course, the retard, you slow down at the end when you're playing it on your own. I can't retard with a metronome. This would be a really nice piece to play for somebody who's wanting to go to sleep. There you go. It's like a serenade, sort of. So, 3 counts, let's play this together. I'm going to start out here and here. And here we go. 1, ready, go.